Right, so before I begin, let me just say the only reason I'm holding this belt is to sort of give you a bit of entertainment. Because this is just going to be talking with no pictures or anything like that in case this gets taken down for copyright reasons. I'll just hold this up here and there because you don't really want to look at my face all the time. So this is just going to be a talking video. If you want, you can just minimize this window, treat it as a podcast. But yeah, it's just going to be me talking my thoughts and opinions on the upcoming game. Hello everyone. So WWE 2K17 is fast approaching with just about a month and a half to go now till the release date. I believe it's October 11th. All the videos I've seen on YouTube, people dissecting bits and pieces of the game that 2K are releasing, they're all very hyped and gassed for the game itself, and I'm just sort of taking a step back and looking at it from like another perspective and thinking I don't think there's a lot of reason to get too excited about this game. So the following video is just going to be my thoughts and opinions on why I think, I'm not going to say why I think the game will suck, I will say that I think the game is going to be lackluster in the sense that it's not worth getting too excited about. These are just my opinions. By all means, you're welcome to agree or disagree with them. You know, I'm not trying to be just a smart mark here. This is my honest opinion, like looking at the games from an outside perspective rather than just jumping on the old hype train. As I somewhat used to do with anything WWE related. Yeah, so here we go. These are some reasons why I think WWE 2K17 will be lackluster. One of the things 2K prides itself on, especially with this game and the last game, is the large roster that the game will feature. I believe in this one they're talking about 116, 120, around about that mark. That's a very impressive number. I'm not complaining about that at all, but I just feel that with no sort of dedicated mode to use the people in, it just feels like it's a bit pointless. So of course we have the WWE Universe mode, but after all that gets very repetitive. For me still, even though they say we're making great improvements with this, in my opinion it still feels like the stories aren't very engaging, they don't really go anywhere, and the cutscenes are very random. They're like, it's the same old, like basic cutscenes we used to see in previous versions of the WWE Universe mode, as well as the story designer, which I will get onto later. The basic cutscenes of that where like you knock your opponent out of a chair, you knock down the referee, the match starts, the match is over with, and that's it. And it all just culminates with a title match. And after that, there's no sort of real chase, like maybe your opponent brutally attacking you, saying like they want the title. Even if like they could introduce something like text at the bottom for what the wrestlers are saying in promos, I mean that would be really interesting. But yeah, Universe mode doesn't look like, I doubt they're going to make any improvements with that, so I think it's just going to be a rather pointless thing. For me, it'll just be a mode where I can just keep playing the game again and again in terms of like just having something to play, not really engaged. If they sort of care about, yeah, like look at this person, if they can look at the stats, like he's playing the game for God knows how long. But the thing is, I'm not really enjoying it. It's just, I'm a fan of WWE and I like to play a wrestling game, but it's not really like I'm engaged in it. If you were to see me playing it, I'm probably just sitting there like a knobhead. Yeah, not really enjoying it, and I suppose numbers is what any company really looks at these days, isn't it? As you all probably know, I am somewhat of a belt mark. I like to collect belts or whatever. I have had a great number of them. But anyway, I'm still disappointed with the look of the title belts in the game. If you look at the New Day entrance that IGN released a couple of weeks ago now, the tag team titles just look awful in my opinion. It'll probably look a bit clearer like when you play it on a TV, but watching on like a mobile phone or computer or something like that, the belts look very, you know, there's no detail in it. It doesn't look like there's any definitions in between layers and everything like that. It's just like one solid plate, and like it looks very distorted in my opinion. And it's also a shame that they still seem to scan the belts or whatever they do based on replicas, because like this is a replica. You can see all the bolts and screws on the back, whereas the title belts that they use on TV are actually, you know, re-levered, and they cover up the bolts and everything. And just a small thing like that would be like, oh okay, yeah, they paid attention. Yeah. I think this next point goes without saying. This is probably something on all gamers' minds. We've just had the WWE Draft. Will these changes be in the game? Obviously, it's a bit short notice, and I completely understand that some of these things really do take they have to plan these well in advance before they program them into the game. My gut feeling, I could be wrong on this, they might be able to do this, is at least like the new stage designs of arenas for Raw and SmackDown Live might be in the game, but I doubt they will. All the new pay-per-views, I doubt they will be in the game. For example, we got Backlash back and Clash of Champions to begin with. So yeah, I really don't think these will be in the game. Like I said, I completely understand that it does take a very long time or whatever to plan these and put them in the game. But I would imagine that WWE would probably tell 2K, since they're selling an officially licensed WWE product, that they would sort of keep them in the loop, like saying, oh yeah, we're going to do this, let's tell you some time out, get this into the game, it will make people want to buy it more. At least, it would interest me more. If it's going to have the old stuff, it's just like, take a year out, in my opinion, to like rectify the game, put all the stuff in and sell the product better. It just feels like, if it's not included, which I don't think it will, I could be wrong, it just feels like they're going through the same thing each year. They have to put out a game, people will buy it, people will complain about it, I will be one of them. But my voice can't be put across to 2K games. They ain't gonna listen to me as long as they're making the money. Numbers, like I said, that's all they care about. Yeah, it's gonna be a very out-of-date game, I reckon. Probably stuff like, say for example, Ryback's not with WWE anymore. They could easily take him out, I would imagine, since there's no story mode that he's involved with. Whereas 2K15, we had CM Punk. He was a major part of the showcase mode, the storyline or whatever. So they couldn't really take him out. He would screwed the whole game up. So obviously he got a big fat paycheck. 2K games were probably kicking themselves. But yeah, there's no story mode in this one, which I'm going to get onto next. And like for example, Ryback they can take out by adding new things in, like the draft, the story mode, and new arenas. Sorry, I don't think they're going to get added in. So that's another point that sort of drops the game down in my anticipation levels. I hope that makes any sense at all. This next point sort of goes into what I just said about the new stuff being in. I doubt the new titles are going to be in. So we've now got a SmackDown Live women's title and set of tag team titles. I doubt they're going to be in the game. If they got the older titles, like when they did the draft like about 10 years ago, if they've still got like the tag team titles from that and everything, pretty good. And I doubt the Universal title, as have your own opinion on what that looks like. I doubt that's going to be in the game. Could be wrong, but I very much doubt it. Maybe they could throw in the belt, because all they have to really change is like the little banner and the colour of the strap to red. Yeah, I paused there on purpose. So they could add that in, but just say they add that in, I doubt it's even going to feature like into the Universe mode. That's going to distinguish between, oh look, it's the Universal title, it'll probably still be the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So there's that as well. Okay, so this is a big point that kind of disappointed me a little, but what can you do? I understand their reasons. There is no 2K showcase mode in this game. Apparently they did dabble around storylines relating to Brock Lesnar, but they couldn't get like licenses or whatever to involve people who has been involved in his career before he came back, I guess, to be in the game. So obviously it would cut out a lot of like milestones in his career, so they felt there was no point in putting a showcase mode in there. I completely understand that, by all means. I would hate to play a sort of game mode that's half finished or whatever, or like only has a handful of matches and it's not even the interesting ones or anything like that. So I completely understand why they did that. But the thing is, they say they're going to focus a lot more on my career mode, and that's going to have like more promos, or they're going to look more at promos and interviews to get your character across more. But just hearing that, this is just me like probably being a negative Nancy or whatever. I just thought of that. That doesn't sound like it's a lot to get me interested. The past two games where my career has been introduced into the game, I haven't felt really interested in playing it. It's very dull, it's very repetitive, and I really doubt that adding in promos and stuff is really going to make this mode any more interesting. For example, the first game, there was a lot of uproar about that because once you won the main title, the game mode just finished. In this next one, I believe you can defend it, but in terms of earning skill points, it took a very long time to get your character to a decent level, in my opinion. I completely understand that in wrestling, or WWE, or whatever, it takes a long time to get anywhere, unless you're a chosen one. But I'm just playing a game here. I just want to be entertained. If it, like, the whole cycle of like building up your character was a lot quicker and everything, you could really build a really good character really quickly. That's just entertaining, especially if you're playing a game. And if you're like living a life where you're working a full-time job or something like that, you don't have a lot of time to play video games. You just want to have some quick fun, you know? Yeah, especially like something like a wrestling game. It's a sports simulation game, so you just want to somewhat replicate what you see on TV and like put your own thoughts into it. But if it's going to take you a hell of a long time to get there, you probably just lose interest. I did anyway. I sold the game before I even like won the Intercontinental title in my career mode in the last game. So yeah, just adding in promos and that, they haven't really said much else. I might have missed something, but it'll probably be like the last mode I play of the whole game, to be honest, once I finally get it. This next point, it didn't really click in my mind when I first read that there will be no showcase mode, but I'm very disappointed now that I thought that. There's no showcase mode, you're missing a big feature in the game. Can you not bring back story designer? I'm saying that, and I'm pretty certain a lot of people would agree with me. They would love to see the story designer mode back in the game. I had so much fun playing that. Obviously all the cutscenes aren't, you know, what you want them to be, but you can make it work. You can like, for the text entry, like make it sort of think like, oh, so-and-so did this because of blah blah blah, even though it might not look like that on the screen. But I used to spend hours just planning this, and I actually used to enjoy playing my own storylines through and having a lot of fun playing others. I remember one great one about Crispin Noir. That's Crispin Noir, and it was just, you know, it's a horrible thing really, but just the way someone got around that to include him in a storyline without being flagged up or whatever was just funny. But there were other funny storylines as well, and yeah, I had a lot of fun. I used to get pretty good reviews on my storylines because I really went into detail because I just really enjoyed playing that mode. So 2K, if you ever watch this, I'm really disappointed that there's no story designer in it. You'll probably come up with a reason like, oh yeah, like we don't have enough space, or I don't know, I'm not that great of a programmer at all really, but it would have been really good to have that mode back in there. And to go with that, with no showcase mode, it would be really good. I would probably prefer this more than a showcase mode, is if you had like a story mode. So get the many writers that WWE apparently has, they could come up with a unique storyline exclusive to the game. Lasts for about 2 years, like in SmackDown 4, which one was that? That was Shut Your Mouth, I believe. Yeah, so you just progress through the ranks and there's an actual story, you run into different stories with different characters and stuff like that. That'd be amazing to have in the game. So with no showcase mode, no story designer, and no story or career mode, you know what I mean when I say career mode, right? Not my career. It's, I'm just like, what is there to look forward to in this game really? Another thing that 2K say they're adding is more animations. So they say this every year. There's probably a lot of new moves that I don't really take notice of, so fair play to that. But I like the presentation of stuff, so when I see wrestlers' entrances pop up from the game, I'm really interested to see those. I was really happy to finally see Goldberg's entrance, but after all that I was kind of disappointed, or, you know, wasn't too excited. I feel like when they get people to do the motion capture for the entrances, it feels like it's just people as fans reenacting how the wrestlers did it. It doesn't feel like they really sort of studied the motions, if you get what I mean. Like for example with Stone Cold's entrance, it always feels like he's walking out too fast. In the last game he only went up in 2 corners. Obviously there's an argument saying like, oh, he just goes up in 4 corners, what the fuck are you complaining about, you know, it's boring. Fair enough. But the way he did it, it seemed like he was drunk, like, whatever. Sorry for that. But it just felt like he was really like half done. And Goldberg's one as well, when the pyro goes off, the pyro sounds doesn't sound too great in my opinion. And also once the pyro stops and before he starts doing all his punching and screaming and all that, it's just a long pause where he just stands there and it just feels like, did he really wait that long? I don't remember. This is just me really nitpicking at stuff now, but you know, it's my video, my thoughts. I can say what I want. Disagree with me if you want. But yeah, motion capture, I don't know. Get the actual wrestlers to do it perhaps. Might cost you a lot of money, but it'll be a good game. Good final product. Whatever. So anyway guys, that's my thoughts and opinions on why I think WWE 2K17 will be lackluster. There will probably be another load of, this sounds really nasty, a load of wrestlers' names, let me put it like that, dropping tomorrow on who's going to be included in the game. And like I said, with a large roster, it doesn't feel like you can really do much. For the past few years I've sort of like contemplated, should I buy this game as soon as it comes out, and I did in the end. And when I got the game I did get somewhat bored with it after about a week or so. That's not even playing it every day. But for the first time this year, with the points that I've mentioned, I'm really thinking that I probably won't buy this game as soon as it comes out. I'd imagine they'd release the Goldberg player as a, you know, standalone DLC. Maybe you can purchase for about £5 or whatever it is. So it's not like I'll be missing out if I don't pre-order it. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about waiting maybe Christmas time. I might be able to get a deal somewhere so I can get a bit cheaper. I don't feel like paying the full £42 as it is at the moment on Amazon for what I feel like they might churn out. Obviously there's still some time, about a month and a half. They could release some information, new screens of stuff to be included, but main things for me is no showcase mode, no story designer, and no sort of story mode. And my career and universe mode will probably I'm going to say this now, will probably suck in my opinion. Very boring, very repetitive. So yeah, I'm really considering or thinking like I won't buy this game as soon as it comes out. I could change my mind, I could be a hypocrite, but that's the way I feel right now. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, feel free to agree or disagree with me, whatever. You can do whatever you want in the comments section, can't you? As long as there's no like racist stuff to other users, fuck that. But yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions. So what are you going to do? You're going to buy the game as soon as it comes out? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm just talking horse shit? So, and like I said, I'll hold this belt up because it's just been me talking. So if you've actually stuck with it, thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video, whatever the hell that may be. So, see you later, and take care.